People express themselves in very different ways. I'm not going to speak about Trump because for me Trump is not really my business. And since he's been elected, please just let him do his work and we just watch whether our worst fears will be affected, or we say, well, it's possible there are born-again humans all over the place in all religions, and why not in politics? All these possibilities are there. The important thing, what really matters, however, is that the rhetoric that got him there was a rhetoric against the black people, and in particular, specifically named against Nigerians. And I respond to it. That's my business. People react in their own different ways, and I don't go and attack them and say, how dare you? Sometimes I think we have too many illiterates in this country. Far too many illiterates. Freedom of expression, which is why, symbolically, I wanted to talk to you all here. We worked to make sure that the least important person, the most insignificant human being in our society, in our environment, had the entitlement, enjoyed the entitlement of freedom of expression. And when I decide to take a certain kind of action, I don't want people on behalf of whom we fought for the right of freedom of expression to start all kinds of vulgar and stupid commentary. It looks to me as if this thing they call the green card is even more important than human beings. And so even people like me cannot express ourselves again. There's something wrong. There's something cockeyed here. And I think the barbarians are taking over this community, this society, what we call this nation, using the anonymity most of the time. In the period when Wole was in UNESCO, you know what work we did to ensure the communication, free speech, was really democratized. And some slug sits somewhere and starts writing rubbish, questioning the right for people like me to express ourselves. Well, it reached a point where I said to myself, you know what, I think you should be grateful to Donald Trump. Because it's not that I wanted to know what Nigerians can be sometimes, very testing, very aggravating people. That includes me. We are notorious all over the world. But at least I think some of us try to use some intelligence in exercising that kind of aggression. And there reached a point where I said, no, maybe I should not be exiting from the United States. Maybe it's Nigeria I should be exiting from. Because if people, on behalf of whom one has struggled all one's life, can descend, can be so slavish in mentality as to start querying the right of their champions to free speech, free expression, then my attitude was all is lost. And I made a statement saying, wait till inauguration day. Of course, by the time that statement appeared in the papers, it was Wole Soyinka headline. Wole Soyinka says he will tear up his green card for the inauguration. But if you move away from the front page, go inside page 9, you will see what Wole Soyinka actually said. This kind of professional, shall we say, sloppiness is not very conducive to harmonious cohabitation with one's citizens. It's a serious lapse. There's no need to sensationalize. As I wrote in my interim statement, I hadn't decided what to use, whether scissors or garden shears. It was very difficult to tear up in the credit card. And then I see headline, Wole Soyinka says, tear up on inauguration day. Then why should I wait till inauguration? I'll tell you what I'm going to do on that inauguration day. I'm going to hold a funeral wake, a private funeral wake. But who am I mourning? What am I mourning? It's not the Americans, they can handle themselves. It's about the death of Nigerian common sense. The death. I shall hold a private wake on that day. Because I think that common sense is lost totally in Nigeria. And it is possible that as a result of it, I might begin a second Wole exit when I finish with this one, which is literally over. Because sometimes I'm embarrassed to consider that I'm occupying the same nation's space with some imbeciles. I just wonder, what am I doing within the same nation's space as morons who think that because they run a blog or the, what's it called, Twitter, or I don't do the Twitter. You have to send to me for me to know what's going on. See, why am I within the same nation space? And, well, understand this though, exit takes many forms. You can exit internally or you can exit externally. So it's possible I might exit into the Autonomous Republic of the Jega and I'll come out of there. That's also another kind of exit. But certainly something is going to give. Definitely. Something must give. It has to give in a situation where one struggles for something, an entitlement for others, and then others say, you are not entitled to that. Something just has to give.